Hi, this is Yuzuy and my name is Martin. In the last video we covered something critical, how to act quickly and reliably in the event of a storage outage. In this video we will focus on managing changes that may occur between Yuzuy's and Cumulus initial configuration and the failover failback cycle, ensuring disaster recovery readiness at all times. Changes typically happen on two levels. Changes to the cluster's hardware or network configuration, such as adding or removing nodes or IP addresses, and changes to configuration objects on the clusters. Let's start with the everyday changes to configuration objects such as SMB shares, NFS exports, quotas, share options, access rules, and permissions. Changes to them may happen every day, either manually by the admin or automatically by systems that create and change them. However, these updates are often only applied on one cluster, the primary side of the replication relationship. In order to make client access and failover state equally possible and compliant, these objects are also necessary on the secondary side. Missing objects can lead to several issues depending on what's absent. A missing SMB share or NFS export causes a failed client access to the directory they should access through these. A missing quota might allow accessing clients to create more data than allowed, leading to excessive volume consumption. In organizations with internal tenants or cost structures, this could have a contractual or SLA-related consequence. A smaller than expected quota may result in limitations with potential consequences like stopped services. Missing share options like access-based enumeration and required encryption could lead to data breach and unsecure data transfers. Similarly, missing wrong or incomplete host access rules and permissions may allow client access where unwanted or failed access where expected to be allowed. Yuzuy synchronization covers that easily with minimal decision-making required on your part. Now, let's dive into how synchronization works in detail. Yuzuy synchronization is a function that has to be configured and activated separately from a failover relation. A sync relationship operates bidirectionally between two clusters. If your infrastructure includes just two clusters, you simply select both. If you have more than two, you must decide which route to configure with the sync relation. You can create multiple sync relations as needed. The main configuration setting for a sync relation is choosing which component types you want to synchronize and setting the sync interval. After an initial preview which simulates the process and shows you a what-if scenario without making any changes, you can initiate the synchronization. Sync is intelligent. It detects whether a configuration object points to a directory that is part of a replication relation and determines the correct direction for synchronization. Objects not linked to a replicated source directory won't be synced, and source-side objects won't be overwritten. Synchronization continues to work in failover mode. If the original source cluster is unavailable and changes occur on the secondary side during a failover, those changes are cataloged and synced back before initiating the failback process. To keep track about the changes made by Yuzuy sync, the history provides a detailed list allowing you to monitor and review all actions performing during the synchronization. Now let's move on to events that don't happen every day, like adding or removing cumulo nodes from clusters orchestrated by Yuzuy. Yuzuy automatically detects these changes and adds new nodes to Yuzuy's configuration. However, you should review it. This is crucial because a new node might introduce new IP addresses. In such cases, Yuzuy notifies you. Currently, in version 1.2.2, this appears as an info box. In one of the next versions, an extensive notification system will be introduced, covering this and other important events. This also applies to changes that prevent a successful failover. One more thing. During a failover scenario, it's possible that work is done on the secondary cluster for an extended period. If new directories are created and replicated to the primary cluster, Yuzuy will prompt you during failback asking whether you'd like to reverse the direction of the replication of these new directories. And even one more thing, We've been using the terms primary and secondary here, which suggests an active-passive cluster setup. But it's even better than that. Cumulo supports cross-replication between clusters, and Yuzuy fully supports this configuration. With all of this in place, your organization can focus even more on productivity and results. Thank you for watching.